Hi there. Nice to see you again. I hope you're all doing well. Let me fix the camera again. Sorry about that. Okay, so if you're a crafter, what are you thinking about? Christmas, right? If you've got craft shows to do, or gifts to make, or cards to make, or you just want to make a pretty journal, you're thinking about Christmas. So the other day I was playing around with some doilies. These kind right here, I have a gazillion of them, all different colors, but I like the white because I can do a lot more with white than colors, obviously. And I decided to see if I could make a Christmas tree. And lo and behold, I made a few Christmas trees. Let me move this lace and show you what I've made. And I'm going to make one with you today because they are not difficult. These are just the simplest things that I could come up with. So this is decorated. This is seam binding that we buy, on Etsy. Some decorations. This actually is a necklace that I had in my stash. I'll show it to you. And I liked the beads, so I took them off, some of them, and I put them on here. And then I found a little enamel pin for the angel. Now, this one was the first one I made, and I wanted to bring that back here a little bit. I wanted to make a tree that would look vintage and would look good in a journal or on the cover of a journal, such as this. And this is my first one that I came up with. And this is an old pin that I have, and a bell. There's a lot of decorations on here that I've had for years. And a lot of these you can get at Michael's, those charms, or maybe you've just been collecting them forever. This is sari silk that I've gathered up, and I've put some flat-backed jewels on here that have adhesive attached to the back, but I did add some hot glue. This is a charm of 2 candles. This is an old bell pin that I had. It has another bell on it, and but I didn't need it. I used it here, and doesn't it look like vintage? I like that. I'm not sure if I'm happy with this center. I put that center in there because the center that was in the pin was like blue or something, and it really didn't go with the tree. So I took it out, and I put this in there. It doesn't look like it's in there too straight. Yeah, okay. So anyways, this was the first one. I actually inked the paper, and I'm going to show you how I did that. So we'll get going on that in a minute. And then this one I just did today. I love these beads here. These are those hanging beads. I've collected them for years, and I just had a little bit of these. Let's see where the rest of them are. Well, it doesn't matter, but oh, there they are. Okay, they're on a thing like this, on a, they're hanging. So that they used to put them on lamps and like that. So this is all I've got left now. And I just thought, oh, that green is so pretty. And, we don't make lamps anymore. We don't do a lot of stuff that our grandmothers and great-grandmothers did. So I thought, well, I don't know when I'm ever going to have a project for it, so I might as well use it as a tree. And I really, really do like it as a tree. I wouldn't use it inside a journal because these are pretty thick. I would use it on a cover, or I would use it on a card. And this is a pin that I had in my jewelry. And I liked it. I may change it. It's just something that I quickly found. I don't know about you, but in my family, they expect handmade gifts or handmade cards. And if they don't get them, they're pretty disappointed. So I've done it before where I haven't made a card or I haven't made a gift, and woo, it's like the face just drops. So they really expect it. And you know what? I don't do craft shows. So, well, this November I am doing one, which I haven't done a craft show in 20 years. But our church is having a craft show, and they asked me if I would be a vendor. And I'm like, okay. So I've got to think about that. So I am thinking about that and thinking about some of these kind of things that you wouldn't see anywhere in a store or anybody else making, because these are very original and very different. You know, I love them. So let me show you the next ones. This one is kind of like, if you like all kinds of colors and traditional Christmas thing, and I do, I like it. But I actually added some blue and purple because I didn't have enough red. Of this stuff, I got it, excuse me, I got it at Dollar General, or maybe even the Dollar Tree. I don't know. I've had it for a couple years, and I must have used all the red because I can't find any more. And I just put a bow on top. And this is very lightweight. Now these, I've got this particular... Yeah, $2.93. It was a Walmart, but I got it from Etsy. I got a bunch of it. Somebody was selling it because they don't use it, and I bought 2 packages, and one package, well, neither one of them were opened. Now I've opened it and I've used it, and I don't mind because I know I didn't pay a lot for that, and I'm not going to use this on anything, really. But I thought I'd show you what you can do, different colors and different styles. And then I have one more, which I use this pretty iridescent type. These are hearts. These are dangle beads that dangle too. And I use some rose trim off of a wedding dress that I just tore apart. And I put them on. Now the back is just cardstock with all this glued on it. And then I sewed this angel on. I didn't just glue it on because it's very heavy. And I think it's kind of on crooked, so I'm probably going to unsew it and put it on. I put it on again. But I didn't ink anything. I just put the trim. I put these on, and then I put the trim over it. In this one, I used part of the doily, and I will show you how we're going to do that because I did that on all of them. But I put this on first, and then I put the doily, after I inked it, put it on there. Okay, so that's what I wanted to show you about that. I also want to tell you that I have some wedding appliques. I've had a lot of wedding gowns. I told you last week that I had gotten. And before we go on to making one of the trees, I want to show you, because I'm going to be selling these appliques in my Etsy shop, because this is just from one wedding gown, and I just can't tear them all apart myself. Let me see if I can come up further so you can see them. So they're going to come 2 to a set, I should say. Now they will match, like, if this one has that, it goes with that. I don't know if you can see it. I am not going to take them off of the satin because I have arthritis, and I just can't do all that work with my hands and my fingers. So this is a left and a right, which I think is really cool. Now you may need to sew on a pearl there, here and there. Really, they're in excellent condition. I found very few flaws in these. You may have to press down, a part of the trim if it's coming up. You may have to iron the applique, the back of it, whatever you want. But this is the this is the style that I have mostly a lot of. So I'll be putting them in my Etsy shop. They'll be listed by the time you see this video. Then I have these particular appliques, which I just think are beautiful. They were on the dress. I don't know if I need to hold them up for you to see closer, but aren't they pretty? And there's 2 of them, so those will be sold as a pair. And then I have, okay, that's different. This is a sleeve applique, if you can believe it. And it's just very long, and I don't think I can get it all in the camera, but let's see how long it is. I got my 19 inches long, and the width of it, the widest part of it, is 8 inches wide. So I have 2 of these, but I'll be selling them singly. Now, if you make doll dresses, or you make wall hangings, or you make pillows for Christmas, for craft shows, these are beautiful. So I have 2 of them. And then for the really beautiful piece that I am not going to rip up, I just couldn't do it. It's so pretty. It's the bodice, the front bodice. I took it from, the gown. Took it off very carefully. And then it comes, oh my goodness. Look at this. It's all pearls and sequins. It's just beautiful. I will be selling this all by itself because it deserves that. And this is attached to it. If you take the satin off, there is no seam there. It's just all of the netting and the applique. So the backs will be like this. Turn that around. So this will all be attached in one piece. And you can cut these up and use them if you want. If you want to leave the pearls on, I have a tip for you. Say you're going to cut this piece out. Now there's pearls and then sequins, pearls, sequins. Or let's just go even for a bigger, well, this one has a little problem. So, okay, that's a problem there. These are used, okay? So they're not going to be in perfect condition, but they are in very good condition. What you do is you take a little bit of tacky glue. You find the pearl wherever you're going to cut apart. Find where you're going to cut apart and take some tacky glue and put some glue on the back where the threads are, keeping the pearls in place, and then let it dry before you cut it, because then it won't fall apart. So say you want to keep these pearls right here on there. You put your finger there on those pearls, turn it over, see that that string right there is holding it together. Put some tacky glue there. You don't need a lot, just enough so it'll dry. So when you cut that out, they will not fall apart. Now I take most of the pearls off when I use the appliques because I don't like them in my journals. They're too bulky, But this, I just could not cut this up. And let's see how long this one is. If it's no, okay, so it is a total of, not counting the back, because I don't have enough to count the back, 22 inches. The front is 22 inches. And then the back, from the back on, is another almost 10 inches. So there's a lot going on here. A lot of beauty going on here. Now, I just could not cut it up. I just couldn't. And I've never had a wedding gown this pretty. And all of these appliques came from this one wedding gown. And I'm sitting there going, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And before I started cutting them up, I looked at the whole gown and said, no, I can't do it. I'm going to have to sell it as is. Okay, so let's get back to the Christmas tree. Yeah, sure. I dropped my ink dauber. Hang on. Now this particular hanging beads I got from, it was on the bottom of a curtain in Goodwill, believe it or not. And it's old. It's really old. If you can see how old it is. And I loved it. It was perfect for this. Now, I didn't buy the curtain for that reason. I didn't even know it was on there. But when I was playing around with the trees, and I was looking through, I had taken it off the curtain and put it in with my other hanging bead stuff. And there that was. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. So, easy, easy, easy peasy. Okay, this is a 5.5 inch doily Okay, you can use any size you want. Any size at all, doesn't matter. You can use small, large, whatever. And you're just going to kind of fold it so that the top goes into a point. And it doesn't have to even go into a point. I didn't do all mine as points. I just got me a cone shape. You know what I mean? Because you're going to cover this up. Well, you can't see because I put some chipboard in the back to hold that pin in there. Let's see. See, this one's no point. This one came out as a point, which surprised myself. You know, strange things happen. Okay, so this is your Christmas tree. And you can make it any size you want, like I said. Then I take some cardstock and I put it down. And I do kind of like a real easy, not the greatest technical over here. That's all I got out of that. See, that's all I need. Okay, and then I take and I'll cut it. I just kind of follow the lines. It's kind of like when you walk with a coffee cup, you don't watch where you're going, you watch where you're going to. And I used to be a waitress, and that's what you do. You don't watch where you're cutting, you watch where you're cutting to, and your eye will take you there where you need to go. So, and believe it or not, your eye is pretty good. They can go pretty straight. So I'll put that in there, and I'll wrap this around like that. And then, just to make sure it fits, then what I do is I will cut this off and leave me about 1/4 of an inch on the doily from the fold. I've got that piece, and then this piece I've got like that, and cut that off. And then I will take my glue gun. I actually brought glue sticks over with me. So proud of myself, but I'm sure I forgot something. Okay, and I put the cardstock in here. And what you could do too, you could, if you wanted to be much more technical, you could make yourself a perfect triangle and then put it on the doily and fold it over to fit, you know, the triangle. That would be much more perfect. But I'm not into perfect. I'm into fast and quick. So then I'm not going to glue the front. Just going to put me some glue down here real fast. Well, because if you're working for a craft show, you got to get things done. And if it were for a journal, it'd be something else. Totally different. Because they have to be beautiful and perfect as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so I glued that in. Now I have my front of my tree, and I'm going to take these pieces and I'm going to cut the white out of each of them. Like that. Then I'm going to take my ink. I'm going to ink my tree because I'm making a vintage looking tree. Just going to ink the bottom and the sides. Then I'm going to ink this, and I just need to do the center because the sides are going to be folded over into the back. So I'm just going to do them. Okay. So then I come over here and I decide where I want that, and I fold it over, put a little glue back there, and then do the other side. I mean, you can glue it down the front if you want. It's not a big deal because you're gonna cover it up with a lot of stuff, so it doesn't matter. And then I'm going to come up here, kind of space it a little bit. I want just some of this space showing. On this one, you're never going to see it. but you do get the color of the ink going through there, and I guess that gives it the vintage look, and that's what I want. So, okay, so I'm going to glue that down. I'm going to cut some of this off. Don't need all that. I'm going to hold it there. Okay, now you're ready to decorate. Now, wasn't that easy? It was. I know it was. Now, with this one, I put the hanging beads on first. I mean, I didn't even put this on, but before I put my trim over is what I'm saying. And on this one, I inked it with moss green, but before I put them on, I put the hanging beads on. With this one, I didn't put any hanging beads, and you can see I inked it, and here it is. The pieces of the doily are here, and you can see some white where I didn't ink it, and then I put the decorations on. This one I didn't ink at all, but I did put these pieces on from the doily. You really can't see it till you're up close with it. This one's kind of a hokey little tree. But it's okay. I don't know. I give it to somebody in the family that's not been nice to me this year. That's their tree. Here's your card. There you go. Okay. So what I did next was put the beads on. Okay. I'm going to make this because I really like it. Now, but you do have to be careful that the beads don't fall off and you've got the right side. So, let me see. I realized when I first did this, I put them all along here, but it looks stupid. So, I'm going to go up here and just let them hang to the bottom. And there again, we're not doing anything mind-blowing, you know. We're really intelligent here. It's not difficult work. If you can get it, it's good work if you can get it. And sell it at a craft show. What the heck? Give it to a relative who thinks you're the smartest person in the world. Prove them right. Or put it in a journal. And I really want to do that. So I'm going to come up here. And I'm going to do this because I want to show you what I do when I get at the top for the beads. Because it becomes a little congested up there. You need more beads, and you can see, you can gather it whatever, or you can space them apart. Am I in frame there? Okay, I'm going to bring this over a little bit like that and like that. Then I'm gonna, a lot of times on the other ones I was able to wrap around and glue in the back, but this one there's not much space between the beads, so I'm just, well, I could here on this one. Okay, so just wrap it around the back. This one is kind of frayed, so I'm not even gonna deal with that. Now when I got up here, what I did, and I want my silicone mat to show you. Let me see. Is I took, gotta get some of these strings out. It's from pulling it off the curtain. I put some glue there, and then, come on, I brought it over. Oh. This is the only tricky part of it. I told you there's no tricky parts. Oh, there is. Just this. But it depends on where you want your beads, so it doesn't have to be hard to do. Okay, and I'm just going to put, I'm just putting glue so that I can kind of like gather it, you know what I mean? Bring it over closer. And however many you want. How many did I have? I don't even think I did it. Yeah, I did 4. Okay. And you're going to need to turn it around too. Get in there. and glue it that way. So now I've got 4 that are really close to each other. Let's see if that's enough. No, I think I want one more going there. If I'm going to do it, I'm doing it all the way. That's all there is to it. Because I really would like to put that on a journal or give as a card. I have a sister-in-law whose birthday is coming up, and I always make her a card. Oh my gosh. A different, unique card. And she loves them, so maybe I'll give her a card with this. Alright, now I'm piling them on top of each other. We don't want to do that. Okay. You just have to play with it. And yeah, you probably will get burnt. That's the way it goes. My glue gun is not that hot, so I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, I think that's good enough. And I'm just going to put it here. Let me get this out of here now. Main frame, okay. Let's see, bring it down more maybe. I don't know. Alright, so then I'm just going to glue here. No scientific stuff going on in this room. Okay. So now look at all the beads I have. Isn't that pretty? Well, that's half of it, you know. Then you've got to do the, you don't have to, you can do anything you want. But what I did was I took some sari silk that I just purchased off of Etsy and who knows where. I buy my stuff all over on there. This is coming loose, so you gotta redo that. Okay. This was pretty narrow. Usually the sari silk is nice and wide. But this was pretty narrow. So I had to open it like that. But what I liked about it was it had gold dots all the way through it. So I'm probably not going to do the whole thing because I don't want to keep you that long. But I just squish it up. Put the glue there and just squish it. If that's a technical word for do not gather but glue. We squish and not gather. Sew. I do sew. But you don't sew on this stuff. And then you just got these little gold flicks coming through, which are really nice. And kind of follow the beading ribbon, because that's what you want to cover up. I don't think I do as well on camera as I do when I'm sitting there just, you know, working by myself. And not trying to impress anybody. You try to impress anybody, that's it. It's gone. You're done. That looks stupid. But anyways, I'm just going to do this one because I don't want to mess the whole thing up. And I just cut it off because sari silk does not ravel. And then what you do, go through your Christmas decorations. Well, you can see the bottom here, why that looks like it does. This is a little darker. I must have inked it a little bit more. Ink it however you want, but it'll just turn out. I do 1, 2, 3. That's all. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. Wow. Oh, okay. No. 1. I did 5 on here, and I will only do 1. I might do 1 under here. Yeah, I probably will. Here, here, here. That's what it is. And then that'll make it very full. And it will also cover up your cut work of your doily. But you can do a different tree with a doily to show that. Like I love this one, the green one, because you can see the doily, and I think that's pretty cool. I love this. I think that's so nice. And you can also see it here too. So, and this is just an old necklace, like I said. And these are little jewels, flat back jewels with adhesive on the back. So then I went in, like I said, and I got my decorations out, my jewelry out. And I decorated my tree. And I think that when I put it on a journal for Christmas, of course I'll have something else behind there because it's too much the same color. This is a cover I started that I didn't finish with some re-embroidered lace over it. And I just grabbed this because it's the only thing I had that I could use to show you. So anyways, thank you for stopping by. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. I'm getting close to 1,000 subscribers, which is amazing to me. And I will be having a giveaway when I reach 1,000 subscribers. And I'm very excited about that. And I thank you for subscribing. And I hope you have a wonderful week and a blessed week. I'm having a great week. And even though it's turning into fall, but I love fall. So drink some coffee, make some trees, get ready for your craft shows and your relatives. You'll be all set. And I'll see you again in hopefully a couple of days.